Then there was Gigi's Port Said on Broadway in San Francisco, and then there was the Baghdad. After that, there was the Casbah, and then there were like 2 clubs after that. I started dancing about a week after Gigi's closed at the Baghdad. And the first dancers I worked with were from Turkey and from Egypt. And the Egyptian dancer was Fatima Akef, who was Naima Akef's sister. And it was the same year, I started dancing the same year that her sister died. And Fatima had married her drummer. She was his 17th wife. And Naima married, a film director or something like that. So she probably had like about 50 movies under her belt. And she was also the prettier sister. And so, but they used to be in the circus and they used to do duets together. So that was my experience. My first experience with Egyptian dancing was dancing with Fatima when I first started dancing. But I first started performing with Magana in the 50s when I was in high school. There's some people that say that Jamila was the first teacher in San Francisco, but it was really Magana. And there was also another teacher named Bert. But before that, there was the Barbary Coast, which is below Broadway, where they had belly dancers and stripteasers and everything else that went.
Everything in between.
Okay. Okay. There was also Greek clubs, the Minervas, Zorbas, the Greek Taverna, the Placa Taverna. I'm kind of naming them in chronological order. Okay, and Youssef, who was the owner of the Baghdad, talked about the heavies, the musicians from the East Coast, and he especially named somebody named Freddie Elias. He was like a violin player who was just completely amazing. Okay, so there were 2 musicians there were 3 musicians in the East Coast that started playing Arabic music, and it was kind of like called Amarabic. It was Eddie the Sheik. Before that, there was Mohammed Al-Bakar, who also performed in New York Broadway musicals or something. But there was Eddie the Sheik, who is still alive and still plays in New York. I met him about 20-something years ago, and he was like really old then. I don't know. I mean, maybe he just goes, maybe they just help him like Sabat or something. They just help him. He is still part of they have some kind of like a Brooklyn Walk or something like that. So he still performs. And George Abdo, who was the other one, and I heard that he had died. And so they started this thing called Amarabic